so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring some new Dior and Charlotte Tilbury products. Today we have the 1947 palette by Dior as well as the 1947 lip, the one with the beautiful design on the lipstick. We've got a couple of Charlotte Tilbury products we were trying on the concealer today. I have on no foundation. We've got a couple of shades here we're trying, as well as the Airbrush powder by Charlotte Tilbury. This one right here that wasn't quite sure about the finish or the shade for me, but we were going to try it out today, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start with a primer, and I was reminded of this one when I tried on the foundation again by Hourglass. We're going to use the Vanish Airbrush Primer. Again, this is by Hourglass. It has a really nice smooth feeling. So I like the way my skin feels after I apply this. Yeah, it just makes everything feel texture-wise quite smooth. So this is half and half. So if you want to just wear primer, I know some people like to do that. This is a nice one. Okay, we're going to go in with the concealer. Now I've been testing out 8.5 for maybe 5 days or so. And we're going to use a brush with this, not the, the Clé de Peau brush. We're going to use a fluffy brush. And the one that I had that was nice that I remembered is this It Cosmetics brush. Number 2, I've had this for a long time, but I thought, let me try this with a brush, and this one came to mind. So we're gonna go under the eye here, and I just go like that. This is again 8.5, so it's got more golden in it. I find with this one I don't have to set, but we'll try that powder today. I'm going to go over my dark spots with this. Now I did discover if I build this up too much, it starts to look a little bit too light. So I just go really light-handed with this, and it gives me a really nice no makeup look. The closest concealer this reminds me of is the Hourglass concealer, which if you saw that video, I don't know, it was a couple years ago, where I tried maybe 5 different new concealers that were on the market, and the Hourglass ended up being my favorite one. So yeah, this does remind me of that one. It's lightweight, does a nice job of blurring. So you can see though there it is more golden than even my skin tone, which has a little more red in it. My skin tone's been running red lately for some reason. And then I'm just adding a little bit more right in the center. But you can see it does a really nice job. Still looks very skin-like. And I don't powder when I wear it just like this. I haven't been powdering and it looks really nice. Okay, let's go ahead with the other side. And a little goes a long way. I notice this lays really close to the skin. So it's a very, like I said, a thin layer. Now the shade selection has lots of undertones, which is a good thing. I always seem to land in the middle where I just need a medium tone with a little bit more of a peach to it, or in this case a little bit of red, I guess. Yeah, this is one of those concealers that I might want to purchase maybe something even with a little bit more peach in it, and maybe even a little bit deeper to custom mix, because this is slightly warm for me. But you can see how nicely, effortlessly that covers up the dark spots, really evened out the under eye area. And it does fuse really nicely. Like I can't really see where it begins and ends on my skin. The only reason you might be able to tell is because of the shade being just slightly off. 8 is going to be too light, but I thought we could just go in this darkest part here. So actually, let me swatch this against La Prairie, and then we can see the difference. But you can automatically see how bright that is. Take the brush and just buff that in now. Okay, so there's the difference between 8 and 8.5 versus just 8.5. Okay, so it's still got more warmth than, say, something like La Prairie. So this is 8 in the Charlotte Tilbury, and this is La Prairie number 4. And I use La Prairie to brighten this very same area right here. But I thought we would try a different product to see if we could get a similar result. Now 8 is new to me. Like I said, I've been using 8.5. I just want to see what 8 looks like on those dark areas. So I'm going to take my brush and pick some of that up and just add. See if that helps. So you can see what 8 looks like on my skin tone. And if you really want color correcting though, the color corrector works really nicely. But this definitely has a lovely skin-like glow to it. So you can say I have not powdered. Just taking number 8 for the sides of the nose. It's a little bit red today. Let's go in with the Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish. I haven't read the directions. Let me see really quickly. Okay, this is, oh, it says it's a refillable airbrush finishing brightening powder. Finish brightening powder. Let's see how to use. After applying Airbrush Flawless Longwear Foundation, which I didn't do, but I used the concealer, glide powder onto areas with darkness like under eyes, along smile lines to target shadows. You can blur to quickly diminish the look of discoloration and dark shadows while creating an airbrush look. Oh, that's over another powder, over the Airbrush Flawless Setting Powder. Okay, let me go get that so we can try that. Okay, let's go in with number 1 and let's set. This is a Buff and Blur brush. Well, maybe I could go in with number 2. I don't know. It still adds a little color though. Do you see that? Let's take this Rowan Everything powder brush and let's just dust this gently, because let's go under the eye. Probably too big for the eye area, but let's just quickly go under. And then let's add to the front as well. Okay, do we notice blurring? Yeah, there's a bit of blurring. I feel like, I don't know if this is the best brush for this, but I want something light as well. Maybe my La Mer brush. Okay, do we see brightening? Okay, now it looks too light. Let me play around with this a little bit. Let's just do the high points of the cheeks, kind of like that Clé de Peau product, the Luminizing Face Enhancer. Let's take a different brush. Brush by Wayne Goss, just under the eye. Let's let that settle in, because sometimes with me when it comes to powders, it takes a minute to just mesh everything together. Sometimes it can look a little stark when I first apply powder. Okay, let me do eyebrows and we'll come back and see how everything is looking. I feel like the combination of one, the setting powder, and then the other powder, this airbrush powder on top, is too light for me right now. Maybe when I lose my tan, I think this airbrush kind of emphasized that shade 1 being a little bit cool on me. But I have to say I like the finish. Kind of reminds me of the Rhodial Glass powder finish in that it's lightweight. You have a little bit of a radiance to it, but it's not sparkly or anything like that. It just looks like your skin, but better. Yeah, let's continue to watch this as I wear it. Oh, I went in with, I think I need more bronzer. I went in with an old favorite. This is the SISLEY bronzer. I love this one. Let's add some more. Yeah, this is one of those products that shows up in favorites, or had shown up in favorites a lot for a while until I started trying other products. Yeah, but it's definitely still up there as a favorite. Let's go in with the palette. Now let's play around and see what this can do. We've got this 1947 Dior. I'm going to take this lightest shade. Just see what this looks like, this lightest shade. It looks like a light pink on the brush. And even though it has warmth to it, it looks a little bit cool on me just because of my coloring. Going all the way up to the brow here. Okay, let's take this color next and go in the crease. I like the satin finish on this. Oh, my brush is a little smushed. Okay, so we definitely have a pink eye happening here. Not what I was expecting. interesting palette to come out now. I would think this would be more like a spring palette. Let's go in with this deepest shade right on the exterior. Ooh, that is intense. So I think maybe in the unboxing I said this looked more like a mauvey palette, but now it doesn't really look like that. It looks more like a pink palette. Blends nicely though, this deep shade. I didn't think I would like it actually after I swatched it. I thought, okay, that was a mistake. But now, I like the way this is looking. Let's take this shade in the middle here, and I'm just going to add that with my finger here, right here, in between those two shades. It's very close to that purple shade once it's buffed in. Okay, and then let's take this sparkly shade, which I don't really love sparkly shades, but let's put a little bit of that on there. Just so we can see it. Just have like an iciness to it, in a good way. Okay, let's repeat. Really easy palette to use. And then what did I do? Oh yeah, I took this color, I forgot, the middle shade. Yeah, do you see how it just kind of meshes together there? And then let's take that lightest shade, not the lightest shade, but this shade right here. That's what I'm taking, that's that sparkly shade. I think I'm gonna use that ESUM palette again. No, palette. I think I'm gonna use that ESUM eyeliner again. Oh, I don't think you've seen that video where I use it. Have you? No, I haven't posted that yet. I use the, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna show this to you because I filmed this and they're reminding me of each other. The Chanel. This is the Chanel Tweed 02. So this one is actually be coming up, not next, but like in a couple of videos, it'll come up. Oh, interesting. They're reminding me of each other, but I think this one's more pink than this one. I'm gonna take a little of this and just bring that a little bit further up. And then we're gonna take this ESUM brush and we're gonna use that to place the deepest shade as an eyeliner. Then I'm gonna add a little bit to the bottom as well. And then we're gonna add mascara. See where we are. Okay, so I went in with mascara, of course, Faux Longest Lash Mascara by Chantecaille, and I also used this ESUM pencil, which I have really been enjoying. It's a double-sided dual eye pencil in Rosé and Aubergine. So it's got a purpley side and then this lovely rose tone, and I went in the waterline with that. So I brightened the waterline with it. Really nice. So I use that actually. You'll see me use it with the Tweed palette as well in the future. I kind of put things out of order based on what came in. So that will actually be the video where I will feature the Byredo lip products. But I wanted to go in with the Dior lip shade. It's so pretty. And I want to put this on before I do my blush, so that'll help me figure out what blush to apply. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, that is beautiful. The texture reminds me of the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks that I recently tried. The Velvet lip shades. Let's see, does this look like Velvet Muse? Ooh, they're very close looking. Okay, so we got Velvet Muse and 1947. Now they don't look that similar here, but on swatch, Velvet Muse, and this is 1947. So I'm gonna say there's a hint of berry in the Velvet Muse, and then a hint of warmth. Yeah, a little hint of warmth in 1947. But the finishes look very similar. There's a little bit more of a radiance to the velvet finish, but they're very close. Really pretty. So if you like Velvet Muse, you'll probably really like this shade too. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so I grabbed the Valentino blush, this one, 09. And I also grabbed the Gucci blush. These are sitting on my vanity, so you can see them together. So let's go in with the Valentino blush. Let's go in with the Gucci blush, just a pop of color. This is a number 4. Let's talk about these concealers. It says here, beautiful skin, medium to full coverage radiant concealer with hyaluronic acid. Let's see, there are lots and lots of shades. I chose 8 and 8.5, and I just wish that there was something a little bit deeper than 8 with still the undertone that I like, which is peachy, just for that color correcting aspect. Yeah, medium with peach undertones. I think it jumps all the way to 10 before you see the tan with neutral peach undertones. And I looked at that in the store and it looked too deep for me. So I just need to get, I think, back to my normal shade, and I think 8 might work well. I like this on the skin, directly on the skin, no foundation. And I think that's how it looks its best for me so far, because it sits really close to the skin. It has a skin-like finish, and it's kind of like a no fuss makeup look. And I've tried this a couple of times, especially in the evening when I'm not wearing SPF. So this works best when I'm not wearing SPF. I like putting that primer down just because it makes a nice smooth canvas. But I think it's really a nice concealer. It has worked well under the eye. I did set today, but I don't normally set. There's a little bit, and I don't know if it's because of the powder now, there's a little bit of, not creasing, but you can see my, what's usually not evident, fine lines. I can see them more with this product. It's not bad, but I just noticed you can see them a little bit more than normal. But the finish is very skin-like. So it doesn't make my under eye look better. It doesn't necessarily make it look worse. I'm really trying to examine here though. It's not going into any of the cracks and crevices though, so it's not gathering, and I've noticed that. So I feel like without the powder it was almost better for me, but now that I've tried the powder with it, 'cause this is the first time I've tried it, I'll keep an eye and see if there's a difference. Actually, I may have to powder one eye, not the other, and see what happens. But it's a very natural skin-like finish. I really like that it's medium to full coverage, but you don't need a lot to get that coverage. So you saw, like I said, me without any foundation. This is just the concealer strategically placed, and then the powders kind of help even everything out. So far so good. And I'm gonna have to watch for wear on this, but so far it's a very nice one. Again, it reminds me of the Hourglass concealer. So if you like that one, you might like these. I think the tricky part is finding the shade. Yeah, so even seeing these in person, I was a little bit confused about what was going to work best. Okay, so the concealer too says that it's a skincare infused concealer. It improves the look of skin with each application. I'm not sure how, but it says it visibly hydrates, brightens, and smooths the complexion. It says it reduced dark circles each time and with wear on some people. Like I said, a very nice concealer. I'll continue to try it out, see what the long-term results are, if it's something I continue to pull for, but I really have fun pulling for this in the evening when I have very little makeup on. I just want to conceal my dark spots and do a little brightening under the eye. It's nice for that. So it's nice for those of you who like no makeup. But glad I picked those up. I'm going to continue trying those. Then we have this powder, which was supposed to blur and also brighten. And I think it does that. I think if you're medium tone though, like me, this might be a tricky shade because I feel like we're almost too light. And then I looked at the other shade and I thought that's gonna add color. But let me know if you're a medium tone and you have the other shade in this powder. Let me see what it's called. It's a lightweight microfine powder to visibly brighten, blur, and lift your eyes and face while setting your makeup up to 16 hours. Oh wow, with no flashback. Interesting. It says it smooths and blurs the look of skin. I mean, it looks really nice. It's a very nice powder. I don't know if it's gonna replace something like my Perfect Blur powder, but I think I might use it more like I said, the Clé de Peau product, which is like a face enhancing luminizer. luminizing face enhancer. I might use it on the high points of my face and see how that works. I think that might be how I will use this powder. So I think there was a brightness, a lifting, just like with that Clé de Peau powder, you get a brightness and a lifting with that just because it's refracting the light, but in a very gentle way, nothing distracting. There are no detectable particles in here, which I like. So in that way, it also reminds me, like I said, of the Rodial Glass powder. Really nice. So yeah, I'm pleased with both of those. I don't know if we're getting to holy grail status or anything like that, but they're very nice. I'm interested in continuing to experiment with them. Then we've got the Dior palette. Then 1947, it's funny, as I was using this, I thought this is looking a lot like a look I just did because it reminded me of the Tweed palette. They're not exactly the same though. They just kind of hint at the same look. I think you can produce very similar looks with both of these palettes. So I feel like if you have one, you don't need the other one. Let me know what you think though, because like I said, that other video is coming up soon. You'll be able to see the Tweed palette on. Very nice palette though. It's a nice one if you like this color combination, but I feel like it's more of a spring summer thing than a fall, but it's pretty. That's why I put this on. It reminded me of something in the spring, especially the lip color with the flowers on it. It's beautiful. I recommend this lip shade if you are interested in something that's like Your Lips but better, has a beautiful formula, but you have to like this finish to like this. So if you like those velvet lip shades, it's a little bit more matte than that though, but it is essentially a perfect shade for me. So I'm glad I picked this up. So I think out of all the things I picked up, I'm most excited about this lip shade, and I'm slightly excited about the concealer and the powder, just because I want to see how versatile they are, see how they do over time. But let me know if you picked up any of these products, what you think of them. I'd love to know. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.